Good evening, everyone. I want to start with a question. Have you ever met someone who seems to have this unstoppable energy, this fire in their eyes? Someone who, no matter the challenge, no matter the setback, keeps going, keeps building, keeps believing. What's different about them? It's not just talent, it's not luck, it's something deeper. It's purpose. Purpose is the invisible force that drives the most remarkable people and the most inspiring organizations. It's not about what we do, it's about why we do it. When we have a strong why, we find a way. Think about the last time you faced a serious challenge. One of those moments when everything felt like it was against you. Maybe it was a setback at work, a failure in a personal project, or a time when you felt completely lost. In those moments, what kept you going? What made you push through when giving up felt like the easier option? For some people, it's sheer willpower. For others, it's the support of loved ones. But the people who consistently overcome obstacles, the ones who seem almost unstoppable, have something deeper driving them. They have purpose. Purpose is the invisible force that fuels perseverance. It's what allows people to endure hardship, to keep moving forward when logic says they should quit. It's the difference between someone who gives up when things get tough and someone who doubles down, determined to find another way. The strongest, most resilient individuals are not necessarily the smartest, the most talented, or the luckiest. They are the ones who have something bigger than themselves pulling them forward. When we look at some of the most remarkable individuals throughout history, we see this over and over again. Scientists who spent years chasing discoveries despite failure after failure. Entrepreneurs who risked everything to build something they believed in. Leaders who stood up for change even when the odds were stacked against them. What kept them going wasn't external rewards or fleeting motivation. It was their deep, unshakable sense of purpose. Consider someone like Thomas Edison. It took him over 1,000 attempts to create a working light bulb. 1,000 failures. Most people would have stopped after a handful, but Edison kept going because he wasn't just trying to invent something, he believed in what he was doing. He saw a future where the world was lit by electricity, and that vision drove him to push through the frustration and setbacks. Or take someone like Nelson Mandela. Decades in prison would break most people. The idea of waiting for freedom year after year without any guarantee of success is something few could endure. But Mandela wasn't just enduring, he was preparing. He had a vision of a unified, free South Africa, and that purpose gave him the strength to persist. This is what makes purpose so powerful. It transforms hardship from something to be avoided into something to be endured for the sake of something greater. When we have a purpose, we don't see obstacles as stop signs. We see them as tests of how much we truly believe in what we're doing. But let's bring this closer to home. Think about your own life. Think about the times when you felt the most determined, the most resilient. Chances are those moments were connected to something that mattered to you. Maybe you fought for a dream career despite setbacks. Maybe you worked tirelessly to provide for your family. Maybe you stood up for something you believed in when it would have been easier to stay quiet. Whatever it was, the thing that made you push through wasn't just discipline or luck. It was the deep belief that what you were doing. Now, let's flip that around. Think about times when you struggled to stay motivated. Maybe it was a job you didn't care about, a project you weren't passionate about, or a task that felt meaningless. In those moments, even small challenges felt overwhelming. Without purpose, even easy things feel hard. With purpose, even hard things feel possible. This is why purpose is the foundation of perseverance. It's the difference between someone who burns out after a few failures and someone who keeps going until they succeed. It's what separates those who quit from those who build, those who settle from those who strive. The good news is purpose isn't something reserved for a select few. It's not something you're born with or something that's handed to you. It's something you develop. You don't need to have everything figured out today. You don't need to know exactly where you're going. But if you can connect what you do to something meaningful, if you can find a reason beyond just money, status, or obligation, then you will find the strength to keep going when others stop. Once you've put your mind to the task, you're more likely to accept failure and rejoice success, and also to progress in your focus through competition. This is why some of the most successful people in the world don't see failure the way most people do. To them, failure isn't the end of the road, it's part of the process. They don't stop at setbacks because they are driven by something deeper. So the next time you feel stuck, the next time you feel like giving up, ask yourself, why did I start? What am I working toward? What's the bigger picture? Because when you have a strong enough why, you will always find a way. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to chase success. From a young age, we are taught to set goals, to aim high, to work hard, and to achieve. Society tells us that success looks like promotions, financial wealth, awards, recognition, and status. And so we set off on this journey, doing everything we can to reach these milestones. But something happens along the way. For many, the moment they reach what they once thought was the pinnacle of success, they feel an unexpected emptiness. They cross the finish line, but instead of feeling fulfilled, they feel lost. The excitement fades quickly, and soon they are left with a question they didn't expect to ask. Is this all there is? This is why so many people who appear successful on the outside feel stuck on the inside. They have done everything they were supposed to do. They climbed the corporate ladder, built the business, made the money, or achieved the fame, yet something still feels missing. And that's because success by itself is never enough. It is only fulfilling when it is connected to something bigger, something deeper. That thing is purpose. Purpose is what gives success meaning. Without it, every achievement, no matter how great, eventually feels empty. When success is pursued for its own sake, it can become a never-ending chase where each accomplishment only leads to the next goal, the next milestone, the next thing to check off the list. But when success is tied to purpose, it feels different. It feels right. Think about some of the wealthiest, most accomplished individuals who seem restless, constantly searching for something beyond their achievements. Many people who reach the top realize too late that success, in and of itself, does not provide the sense of fulfillment they thought it would. This is why so many people, after making millions, shift their focus to impact, giving back, mentoring others, or creating something that serves a bigger mission. They realize that true satisfaction doesn't come from just winning the game. It comes from knowing why they're playing it in the first place. On the other hand, look at people who don't just chase success, but are driven by purpose. These are the individuals who find deep satisfaction in their work, not because of the paycheck or the accolades, but because they know their work matters. Whether it's a teacher shaping the minds of future generations, an entrepreneur solving real-world problems, or an artist creating something that moves people, their motivation comes from a place beyond external rewards. Their success is not just about them, it's about the impact they create. When success is pursued without purpose, it often leads to burnout. People push themselves to work harder, to do more, to keep achieving, but because they are not connected to a deeper reason, the exhaustion feels overwhelming. They start questioning why they're working so hard in the first place. The long hours, the sacrifices, the stress, none of it seems worth it anymore. But when someone is driven by purpose, the effort feels different. They may still work just as hard, but their energy is different because they are fueled by something meaningful. Instead of feeling drained, they feel inspired. Instead of feeling lost, they feel clear. Purpose also changes the way we handle failure. When success is the only goal, failure feels devastating. It feels like a personal loss, a sign of inadequacy, something to be ashamed of. But when purpose is the driver, failure is seen as part of the journey. It becomes a lesson, an opportunity to grow, a necessary step towards something bigger. People who operate from purpose don't give up when they fail because their mission is bigger than a single setback. They have something worth fighting for, so they keep going. Another important thing to recognize is that purpose is not something that only a few lucky people have. It's not something that has to be grand or world-changing. Purpose is simply a deep understanding of why you do what you do. It can be as big as changing the world or as simple as making a difference in your community, your workplace, or even your family. What matters is that it means something to you. When success is not connected to purpose, it becomes a hollow pursuit, one that never truly satisfies. But when success is driven by purpose, every milestone, every achievement, every moment of progress feels meaningful. It becomes about more than just reaching the next goal. It becomes about creating something that lasts, something that matters. There's something different about people who are driven by purpose. They have an energy about them, a level of commitment and passion that makes them stand out. They don't just work, they believe. They don't just show up, they care. There's something about the way they move through life that makes others stop and pay attention. And purpose creates energy in a way that nothing else can. It turns what would otherwise be just another job, another task, another responsibility into something that feels meaningful. When people are connected to their purpose, they don't need external motivation to get them moving. They don't need someone to remind them to put in the effort, to stay disciplined, to keep pushing forward. They have an internal fire that fuels them, and it shows in everything they do. Think about the last time you were truly excited about something. Maybe it was a project, an idea, a cause you believed in. Think about how you felt waking up in the morning, how you approached each day. There was probably a sense of excitement, a natural drive to take action, to do the work, to push forward even when things got difficult. That's the power of purpose. It creates a type of momentum that keeps us moving, not because we have to, but because we want to. On the other hand, think about the times when you felt drained, unmotivated, stuck in a routine that didn't inspire you. No matter how much discipline you tried to muster, everything felt like a chore. Every task took longer than it should have. Every obstacle felt like a reason to stop. That's what happens when we operate without purpose, without that deep connection to why we're doing something. Everything requires extra effort. And this is why some people seem to have boundless energy while others struggle to get through the day. It's not just about sleep or exercise or nutrition, although those things matter. It's about what's happening inside. People who are driven by purpose operate on a different level because they are emotionally and mentally engaged in what they do. Their work excites them, their goals inspire them, their vision pulls them forward, even when things get tough. This is why you can see two people in the exact same job doing the exact same tasks, but one of them is thriving while the other is miserable. It's not the job itself, it's what it means to them. The person who feels connected to their work, who sees the bigger picture, who understands why it matters, approaches each day with a sense of enthusiasm. The other person, who sees it only as a paycheck, as something they have to do, feels drained before the day even begins. The same is true for leaders. The best leaders don't just manage tasks or give orders. They inspire. They bring energy into the room. They make people feel like they are part of something bigger, like their work matters, like they are contributing to something important. And people respond to that. They show up differently when they feel like their efforts are connected to something meaningful. We've all been in environments that felt lifeless, where people were just going through the motions, doing only what was required, never giving more than the bare minimum. And we've also been in environments that were filled with energy, where people were excited to collaborate, to innovate, to push boundaries. The difference is purpose. When people believe in what they're doing, they bring more of themselves to the table. They think bigger, they work harder, they care more. And it's not just about work. Purpose-driven people bring that energy into every part of their lives. You can see it in the way they talk about their ideas, in the way they interact with others, in the way they tackle challenges. They approach problems with a mindset of possibility, not limitation. They see obstacles as opportunities to learn, not reasons to quit. They don't need to be told to work hard, to stay committed, to put in the effort, because they are naturally pulled forward by something they believe in. Even in difficult times, people with purpose find a way to keep going. They don't burn out the way others do because they are not just running on willpower or obligation. They are running on something deeper, something more sustainable. They know that what they're doing matters, and that belief gives them strength. They may still get tired, they may still struggle, but they don't stay stuck. They keep moving because their energy comes from something bigger than just themselves. When you meet someone who has tapped into their purpose, you can feel it. It's in their voice, in their body language, in the way they light up when they talk about what they do. That energy is contagious. It spreads to the people around them. It inspires teams, builds movements, and drives change. It's the difference between someone who is merely existing and someone who is truly alive. Leadership isn't about authority, titles, or power, it's about influence. The most inspiring leaders are not the ones who simply tell people what to do, they are the ones who make people want to do it. They create a sense of purpose that others can see, feel, and believe in. They don't just give instructions, they create a vision, and vision is what people follow. And purpose-driven people don't need to demand loyalty, they earn it. People are naturally drawn to those who stand for something bigger than themselves. When a leader operates from purpose, others want to be part of what they're building. They feel a sense of connection, a reason to invest their time and energy. They're not just working for a paycheck, they're working for something meaningful. The best leaders don't focus on getting people to comply, they focus on getting people to believe. There's a difference between following because you have to and following because you want to. People don't give their best effort to those who simply tell them what to do. They give their best effort to those who inspire them. They go above and beyond for leaders who make them feel valued, who make them feel like their work has meaning, who make them feel like they are part of something significant. History is filled with examples of leaders who changed the world not because they had more power, but because they had a stronger purpose. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't have official authority over people, yet millions followed him because his vision for justice and equality was something they believed in. Steve Jobs didn't just sell computers, he inspired people with the idea that technology could be beautiful, personal, and revolutionary. These leaders didn't just build organizations or movements, they built belief. The greatest teams, the greatest companies, and the greatest movements are always built on purpose. When an organization has a clear purpose, people don't just show up to do a job, they show up to make an impact. They bring more energy, more creativity, more commitment. They take ownership of their work because they believe in it. They don't just complete tasks, they drive change. But when an organization lacks purpose, everything feels different. People do the bare minimum, they disengage, they watch the clock waiting for the day to end. They don't bring their best ideas to the table because they don't feel connected to the mission. They are simply working for a paycheck, not for a cause. Without purpose, leadership becomes about control instead of inspiration, and control never leads to greatness. Purpose-driven leadership also creates resilience. When times get tough, when obstacles arise, when things don't go as planned, it is purpose that keeps people going. A leader who operates from purpose doesn't panic in moments of crisis. They stay steady because they know what they are working toward. And because they believe in it so deeply, others follow their lead. They create confidence even in uncertainty. This is why the best leaders communicate their purpose constantly. They remind their teams why they do what they do. They tell stories, they share examples, they bring meaning into everyday conversations. They don't assume that people automatically understand the mission. They reinforce it over and over again. They make sure that everyone, from the top of the organization to the very bottom, feels connected to the bigger picture. A leader with purpose doesn't just talk about numbers, profits, or efficiency. They talk about impact. They show people how their work contributes to something greater. They connect individual tasks to the larger vision so that people don't feel like they are just doing a job, but that they are part of something meaningful. When people feel that connection, they are more engaged, more motivated, and more willing to push through challenges. Purpose-driven leadership is not about perfection. It's not about having all the answers or never making mistakes. It's about showing up with clarity, conviction, and a genuine commitment to something bigger than yourself. It's about setting a standard not through words alone, but through action. People don't just listen to what a leader says, they watch what a leader does. And when they see a leader who truly believes in what they are building, they believe too. The greatest leaders are not the ones with the loudest voices, the most authority, or the biggest teams. They're the ones who make people feel something. They make people feel seen, valued, and inspired. They bring purpose into the conversation, into the culture, into the daily work. They understand that leadership is not about them, it's about the people they serve and the mission they are working toward. People often talk about finding their purpose as if it's something hidden, waiting to be discovered. They search for it in books, in experiences, in advice from others, hoping that one day it will suddenly reveal itself. But purpose isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you build. It's not a moment of sudden clarity. It's a process of choosing, refining, and committing to something meaningful. Many people wait for purpose to find them, believing that one day they will wake up with a deep sense of direction. But waiting doesn't create clarity, action does. The people who live with the strongest sense of purpose didn't sit around waiting for inspiration to strike. They started where they were with what they had, and they built it. They explored their interests, they followed their curiosity, they leaned into the things that made them feel alive, and over time their purpose became clear. The idea that you have to find your one true purpose before you can move forward holds so many people back. They hesitate, they overthink, they convince themselves that they can't take action until they have it all figured out. But the truth is, purpose is rarely clear in the beginning. It is shaped through experiences, through trials, through moments of excitement and moments of struggle. It is discovered in the doing, not in the waiting. Think about the most fulfilled, purpose-driven people you know. Chances are they didn't start with all the answers. They started with a sense of curiosity, a desire to contribute, a feeling that something mattered to them. They took steps forward, tried things, learned from their failures, and over time their purpose became clearer. They didn't sit still, hoping to find the perfect answer. They moved, they explored, they built it. People often think that purpose has to be some grand, world-changing mission. They believe that unless they are curing diseases, launching companies, or leading movements, their purpose doesn't count. But purpose doesn't have to be big to be meaningful. Purpose is simply a deep connection to what you do, a reason that makes your work, your relationships, your efforts feel important. It can be found in helping one person, in creating something valuable, in showing up fully in your everyday life. It doesn't have to change the world to change your world. What matters is not how impressive your purpose sounds to others, but how deeply it resonates with you. Some people find purpose in teaching, in mentoring, in creating, in solving problems. Others find purpose in raising a family, in serving their community, in being a source of support for the people around them. Purpose is personal. It is built from the things that make you feel alive, from the moments when you feel most engaged, from the things you care about deeply. Building purpose also requires letting go of the idea that it has to be permanent. Many people resist committing to a path because they fear they will get it wrong. They hesitate to fully invest in something because they think, what if this isn't it? What if I choose the wrong purpose? But purpose is not a single fixed destination. It evolves. The things that drive you today may shift over time, and that's okay. What matters is not finding the one perfect answer, but engaging fully with the things that matter to you now. Taking action is what shapes purpose. The more you do, the more you learn about what excites you, what challenges you, what fulfills you, the more you engage with different experiences, the more you refine your sense of what truly matters to you. Purpose is not something you passively wait for. It is something you create by stepping into the things that spark your interest, by investing in the work that feels meaningful, by showing up every day with intention. The most powerful thing about purpose is that it isn't given to you by anyone else. It's something you get to define. It's not about what the world expects from you, but about what feels true to you. It's about what makes you feel most alive, what makes you feel that your time and energy are being used for something worthwhile. And the only way to truly know that is to take action, to try, to build, to refine. No one else can tell you what your purpose is. No one else can hand it to you. You build it, day by day, choice by choice, experience by experience. You don't need to have all the answers today. You just need to start where you are with what you have and trust that through action, clarity will come. We often talk about success as if it's something that can be achieved by simply following a set of steps or ticking off a list of goals. The truth is, success is far more complex than that. It's not about following a formula, but about creating something meaningful, something that aligns with who you are and what you truly care about. Success, when it's authentic, doesn't feel like an end. It feels like a journey, one that's driven by purpose, passion, and the desire to make an impact. Most people go through life chasing success based on external measures, money, status, approval. These are things that society tells us will make us happy, but they are often fleeting. We think that once we have enough of them, we'll feel fulfilled, but the reality is that the more we focus on these external markers, the emptier we feel inside. The deeper we go into the pursuit of success, the further away we can sometimes get from what truly matters. That's because true success isn't about what others see, it's about what you feel. When success is defined only by external factors, it becomes a never-ending race. We chase the next promotion, the next paycheck, the next achievement, but these things are always just out of reach. There's always something more to strive for, something else to accomplish. And while there's nothing wrong with setting goals, when those goals are disconnected from purpose, they can lead to frustration and dissatisfaction. We may get what we want, but we don't feel fulfilled. Authentic success, on the other hand, comes when you are clear on your purpose, when you are aligned with what matters to you. Every achievement feels different. The satisfaction you get from success doesn't come from a sense of competition, but from knowing that what you're doing is meaningful, that it is contributing to something larger than yourself. It's about knowing that your actions, your work, your efforts are having a positive impact on others or the world around you. Purpose-driven success is a journey that requires constant reflection and adjustment. It's not something you arrive at overnight. It's something you build little by little, day by day. It's a process of discovering what matters to you, aligning your actions with those values, and constantly seeking ways to grow. The more you learn about yourself, the clearer your path becomes. You begin to understand that success isn't a destination. It's a series of choices, each one aligned with the person you are becoming and the impact you want to have. One of the most powerful aspects of purpose-driven success is its ability to keep you grounded. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, you're less swayed by the opinions of others. You're not looking for validation from outside sources because you have your own internal compass to guide you. It's easier to stay focused even when things get difficult. You are not measuring success by how others see you, but by how you feel about what you're contributing and how you're living your values. Purpose also helps you navigate failure. When you're solely focused on external success, failure can feel like a personal setback, something to be ashamed of. But when your success is aligned with purpose, failure becomes a part of the process. You understand that every mistake, every misstep is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to refine your approach. Failure doesn't mean you've lost. It means you've taken one more step toward finding the right path. With purpose, you understand that setbacks are temporary and that your journey is about progress, not perfection. Success is also not a solitary pursuit. It's easy to think that success means going it alone, proving your worth, and achieving greatness by yourself. But the most successful people, those who live their purpose most fully, are often the ones who are able to lift others up along the way. They understand that success isn't just about what they achieve, but about how they help others reach their potential too. True success is about building relationships, collaborating, and creating a sense of community. It's about leaving a legacy not just for yourself, but for others. When success is driven by purpose, it's not about what you can get, it's about what you can give. The greatest impact comes not from accumulating wealth or accolades, but from sharing what you've learned, helping others grow and contributing to a cause that you believe in. True success is about making the world a better place, even if it's in small, everyday actions. It's about showing up as your best self consistently and doing the work that feels true to who you are. This is why purpose is the key to real success. Without it, success feels hollow. With it, success becomes fulfilling. Purpose is what gives everything you do meaning. It's the driving force that turns every task, every challenge, every opportunity into something worth pursuing. It is what allows you to look back on your life and feel proud, not of the number of goals you've checked off, but of the impact you've had and the person you've become. But here's the challenge. Most people and organizations don't think this way. We're trained to chase success. We set goals based on numbers, promotions, profits, or achievements. And while those things can be exciting, they don't sustain us. Because once we get them, we're left asking, now what? Purpose is different. Purpose is the thing that wakes us up in the morning, excited to take on the day. Purpose is what keeps us going when things get tough. Purpose is what allows us to build something that lasts, something that matters. The best part? You don't have to wait for purpose to find you. You can start today. Ask yourself, why do you do what you do? What impact do you want to make? If you weren't afraid of failing, what would you pursue? Because here's the truth. The world doesn't need more people who are just going through the motions. The world needs more people who are on fire with purpose. And when you live with purpose, when you lead with it, you don't just change your own life. You change the lives of everyone around you. Thank you.